Good morning. Happy Wednesday. So, I wanted to pop on and talk about fasting, eating clean, your activity, my activity, right? And learning more, right? So, I have had a bunch of people who have reached out in the last few days, weeks, asking me questions, just write to my messages and, hey, this is what I'm looking to do, to fast, like any suggestions. And one of the best things I suggest is be patient with yourself because you can't go from not fasting to not eating as much to or eating one way and then eating a lot less, right, in a day, and your body has to get used to it. So I highly suggest to my friends, to everyone, you know, hold, figure in your head 2 to 3 times this week. And then if you feel comfortable with it, or you push off breakfast, right? Breakfast just long enough and you try to close that window, right? Each and every day. So being gentle with yourself fasting, and here's why we fast. Here's why I fast. Um, I have found fasting to heal my skin and change. Really, I mean, I lost 50 pounds. There was my skin needed to change, my body needed to change, and it took time, but it did. And fasting is, I'll give you this example. I was going to a conference for personal trainers and dancers and all this. It was so cool. I was so excited. I took a ferry over to Connecticut and I grabbed an Uber from there. And when I got into the Uber, I was talking to a PT, a phys ed teacher who retired and is doing this just on the side type of thing. And his wife owned a skin care place and spa. And so we were driving. We had so much to talk about between the whole fitness and eating clean and all that. And when I said, I fast, he goes, ah, that's why your skin looks so good. And he said, that's my wife has learned that that's really what you need to do. And I said, well, I don't know if all the other products are super necessary and all that. Yeah. So for myself, I see it as, it helps my skin, blood, organs, like pain level. It gives your body a break. And we're not meant to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, again, stop at the convenience store and keep going. If we close that window, what actually happens is we go into ketosis, the whole keto diet and all that. Well, when that was super popular, I was learning about fasting and I was like, wait a minute. Not that I was plant-based at that time, but I didn't understand why I would eat so much more meat and just this diet rather than just taking time off of eating. And that's what fasting is. It's just taking time to close that window. You go into ketosis when you do that. And then what happens is the fat on your body gets used for energy. So each time you do it, right, it takes some fat on your body off. I found when I discovered fasting, I didn't have to, I realized that it wasn't in the gym that I was going to lose the weight. It was this timed eating and this fasting and keeping an eye on the food that I'm eating and reading the ingredients and all that. So there's that whole clean eating part too. Um, Another big question I had very recently, because I had mentioned that I just took a blood test. Now it's probably about 6 months ago, 5, 6 months ago, and I went to Greg Barron. He is a chiropractor wellness coach, and I what I did is basically pricked my finger, filled these 4 or 5 little holes, sent it out on its way. I felt that the investment for myself was like copays in the future that I don't have to pay because now I have the information. And what did this test do? It told me what good foods that I'm eating that causes me inflammation. So I've had a bunch of people now, clients and friends, who have done this. People have just reached out and said, I just went and got this test done. And some people have coffee, which that's a big one. One of my clients has eggs and milk, cow's milk. So there's a whole bunch. For myself. It came back as tomatoes, which is not surprising. It's a nightshade. Um, veggie. Cat, what are you doing? And but it came back with cauliflower, some nuts that I was eating regularly. It came back with turmeric, which at that time I was taking a good amount of it because I was trying to get the inflammation down. But in my body, it was different. And so in the last 6 months, like I initially, so I'm plant-based. So that means I'm not eating any um, meats or animal byproducts or any of that. And now I have veggies that I can't eat too. But the way I saw it is if I could get myself out of this pain that I was in, and I do believe between fasting, because what I learned at that time too is if you fast up to 24 hours, your body goes into a repair mode. And so I was like, well, I'm due 18 or 16. What's another few? I said at the beginning, like, go in slow because it is a few and you feel it. But what I did notice is I would feel better. So the combination of eliminating the food that was causing me constant inflammation and fasting, I feel like, doctors at that time were like, well, you're going to need surgery. And knock on wood and everything, I am at this point still okay. And my goal is this season, right? It happened to me. My issue started like January, ended May, and it was terrible. I couldn't really um, work out the way I wanted to. Just things were just it. It was blur. I was taking some medication. I wasn't taking medication. I was icing it. Whatever I was trying seemed like nothing was working. And although I did go to a chiropractor who did a different, more of a stretching with my neck and turn. But so I mean, I was trying anything other than surgery. And so more recently, I've introduced a little tomato and then I've regretted that I've done that. And so I do see how my body reacts to it. And when you hear your friends and clients say, like, the woman that I mentioned who just stopped eating eggs and milk, that she's dropped weight more and feels lighter and it has less pain. And if that means like you're in the know of what it is and you can make that decision, I think it's important. So I did mention it, and some people had some questions, so I was going to send them his info, or I'll put below his website, and I'm sure you can contact him there. You can do it anywhere. You can do it around the country. I've had friends in Seattle do it. But point of it is to be really to know what your food is, and fasting is really a big tool. But then you also have to stretch, you also have to move, and you also have to just find your workout. I've had people say to me like, well, I really don't like running or walking, but I do it, and I really don't like this, but I do it. And I don't care what you do, if it's dancing. Like, I had a client who would, before the pandemic, would go dancing with her husband every week, and it was so awesome. Like, she was a real dancer, and they went and danced, and it was time together, exercise, and then the pandemic came, and they weren't dancing anymore. They were sitting on the couch, and what do we do? So now that the world hopefully is opening and things are different, it is find what works for you is super crazy important. And one thing, here's another thing, is people will say, I'm in so much pain, blah, blah, blah. And my first question is, are you stretching? 5, maybe 10 minutes a day. That's like all you need to start feeling better for yourself. If you just set up a yoga mat somewhere in a corner and put maybe a roller, or maybe use a vibration plate, or just stretch on the mat for a few minutes, it's better than you did before. And I swear to you, your pain will start to reduce because your body is going to be moving more than you've been moving. So stretching, finding a workout, super crazy important. And then the other piece that I've noticed and I'm putting together for myself is the learning and growing, and like just trying different things. Because I look at, like, I am chatting with a client about, she said, well, this, I think I got it now. I said, well, you got it now, but it's going to keep changing, right? Because everything does change. And like I was teaching people about, this is what my plate looked like with the meat and the fruits and veggies and some grains with low carb, that type of thing. But now I totally see it completely different, because trying plant-based and committing to it 95%. I don't, every once in a while I will have a slice of pizza, and I usually suffer for it, but it's a lifestyle change to me. It's not black and white. So it's super important to just keep it that way. But learning and growing, like I feel like when I started looking at documentaries and seeing what was going on with our food, I realized, damn, it's not me. It's like them. And how do I learn better and do better for that? And then, like, I came across this book, which is called Miracle Morning, from Hal Elrod. And again, it was like, damn, people do this stuff in the morning and they have a better day and they're more successful. Why the hell not try it? And so, reading some books or getting audibles or making myself read for 15 minutes or trying to learn Spanish, or like just finding something that makes you better. So, food, fitness, and mindset. That to me is what it's about. And if you can take a test and get more information, or learn something from a book that you could apply to, maybe, I don't know, a goal that you want to do, something in the future you want to do, that to me is what it's all about. So I hope that you try fasting, try eating clean, moving more, and learning something. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.